We welcome you here to the Northstar Network streaming on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us here for this windy day. Not only is it windy, there were some showers just a few moments ago. Luckily, it has gone away, and it looks like the rest is going to miss us. So just as we were setting up, the rain started to accumulate, but luckily, again, it's going to miss us, hopefully, for the rest of the game. You can see some dark clouds on the horizon, but you can also see some of the sun shining from behind us, and it's beautiful out as well. It's low 70s. Apologies also for the camera as we are trying to get through some of these double headers, some of these multi-broadcasts, some of our first time ever doing it here on the Northstar Network, and we're just trying to figure out a camera setup. But eventually we'll, for most of our future double streams, if we can, we will have a better quality camera where we can zoom in and stuff. But I'll obviously be here to walk you through the whole game on play-by-play. I'm Joey Cox. I do not have a color commentator here today, but I will be doing play-by-play for the lacrosse game later on at Michael J. Bragman Stadium, so tune in for that one as well at 7. There's also a JV game at 5. It's our first ever one-man crew. Actually, I'm getting confirmation here. We do have one other person, so it's going to be a two-man crew. We were originally going to cancel because it was going to be a one-man crew, but then our one of our newer members, he said, I'll do it myself, and he's getting some help there on camera, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He'll also have a commentator in Jordan Petrowski, so that's Mason Hind and Jordan Petrowski at 5, and then at 7 o'clock we will have some lacrosse for you, boys lacrosse versus Beeville. So, as our PA announcer Mark Vanette is going through the starting lineups, we'll go through the starting lineups here on the Northstar Network. At right field, it's Kirsten McGraw, number 9. Number 22, Shelby Kippen at third base. Number 14, Sydney Rockwell at shortstop. Mia Ferrone, number 1 at center field. Mila Owens, number 2 at pitcher. Bree Jaquin, left field, number 15. Erica Hibbard, number 20 at first. Riley Kulikowski as the designated hitter, 25. And then Paige Jorgensen, number 12 at second base. And then rounding out the lineup for the North Stars, it's Marissa Leone to wrap things up at catcher, number 7. And then for the visiting Liverpool Legends, we have Olivia Henty at catcher. We have Lily Kassouf at right field. We have Allison Chupek at designated hitter. We have Erica Ryan at third. Alexis Goodfellow starting at pitcher for the Legends. Anna Stala as center field for the Legends. Ashley Nestor at shortstop. Aubriana Zimmer at first. Alexis Mathers at second. And rounding things out at flex/catcher, it's Katie Springall. Excuse me, not catcher. She'll just be playing flex. So she'll be moving around the lineup to where she is needed. So it looks like she'll be starting at left field to begin this game. So that rounds out the Liverpool Legends lineup as we get ready to begin. But again, it is a breezy day. It's nice, though. It's in the 70s, cooling down a little bit because of the wind. But luckily, all the rain's going to surpass us. Now, the North Stars, a little bit of history between these two teams. Obviously, big division rivals. The North Stars having multiple, of course, but Legends being one of the biggest ones other than the brothers. The brothers rivalry tends to stick just to football, though it can carry over into other sports as well, including basketball. But the North Stars coming off of that 2-1 narrow victory versus Chittenango. They walked it off in the bottom of the 7th. Mila Owens, who pitched 2 scoreless innings after taking over for Kiki Bembry. Now, Kiki Bembry had an excellent game. She had 4 strikeouts. She did allow 1 run in, but that game, it was defensive for both sides. Neither team could really get their bats hot, and then the first one to do it was Chittenango in the 5th, top of the 5th. And then Mila Owens came in to replace Kiki Bembry, and then she went on to score technically 2.5 scoreless innings after Bembry, as we'll finish talking about that game after our national anthem. And as the saying goes, play ball. We're getting our opening pitch by Mila Owens, the starting pitcher for the North Stars today, in just a moment. But yeah, she ended up closing out last game with about 2.5 scoreless innings. And the North Stars came back towards the end. Again, it was tied 0-0 for about 5 innings. And just as the game was coming to a close, Chittenango went up 1-0. And then the North Stars went up, or actually tied the game 1-1 after bases loaded, though Bree Jaquin, tried to steal home. She tried to come home and unfortunately got out, which ended the inning. It was 1-1 after that, and then Mila Owens continued to pitch well for the top of the 7th, and the bottom of the 7th rolls around, and the North Stars walk it off. Bases were loaded again, and it was Mila Owens at bat, and she ended up walking to first and bringing Erica Hibbard home, which gave the North Stars the victory over the Chittenango Bearcats, just Bears, 2-1, and that was last week, and we covered that one here on the Northstar Network. And now are again facing up against their division rivals, the Liverpool Legends. Now they have a 2-3 record over their last 5 games versus Liverpool. Now the North Stars heading into this one with a 2-game win streak. They had a rough go in their first 2 games of the season down in Myrtle Beach, losing to Morgantown High School 5-2, and then getting shut out to LaSalle Peru Township High School 6-0. But then they came back and won 3-1 over Northmount High School, and then obviously beating Chittenango 2-1 last week. So North Stars now on a 2-game win streak. Not only are they on a 2-game win streak this season, but they're also on a 2-game win streak versus Liverpool in their last 5. So they started off that last that 5-game stretch 0-3 versus the Legends. Those 2 games played in 2023, one game played in 2023, 2 in 2024, and then their last 2 played last season were both victories for the North Stars. So here, Owens going to start things off for the North Stars. Olivia Henty, the catcher, to lead off for the Legends. As Owens coming off again, that strong performance, not only walking in that final run to give them the victory over Chittenango, but also pitching those 2.5 scoreless innings. Again, thank you for joining us here on the Northstar Network on this windy day. As a 2-1 count. Start off this at-bat for Henty. As actually the scoreboard was not updated fully, so that makes it ball 4 as Henty reaches base safely. So Owens starts things off with a walk. She also leads the team in strikeouts with, I believe, 14. I do not have my stats pulled up off the bat as we're using my phone for our hotspot. Don't want to risk dropping that. But I know she does lead the team in strikeouts. I believe it is 14 on the season. As an early mound meeting between Marissa Leone and Mila Owens. They're calling time, a 1-0 count here on Lily Kassouf. As no outs and Henty on first for the Legends. So the lefty Kassouf, with no outs, looking to get to base safely. Kassouf shows a bunt, as it looks like, what a throw. Leone, a dart to Rockwell. Shortstop gets there to second in time, and she gets out Henty at second. What a beautiful play by Leone. So 1 out after that play, as Kassouf shows bunt once again. So a 3-0 count with 1 out here against Kassouf. That one low. So back-to-back walks for Mila Owens. However, just pinpoint accuracy from the throw from Marissa Leone to Sydney Rockwell to catch Henty out at second. So only 1 out. As for the JV game, the North Stars lead 2-0 in the first inning. Leon wanted to throw, but Kasuf gets back to first safely as time is called once more. So Chupek going to talk to the Legends third base coach as we get a couple more discussions. Erica Ryan, who's on deck, also goes over to discuss with coach, and so does Kasuf. As we continue our mound meeting here. That one almost into the dirt there. Mila Owens just hasn't been able to find her groove early. A 2-0 count against Chupek with 1 out and a runner on first for the Legends. Again, that 1 out coming from the pinpoint accuracy of Marissa Leone. Caught Henty at second with her connection to Rockwell. Excuse us for the wind as well, as it's almost like a Chittenango game out here. Not quite as windy, but back-to-back strikes for Owens as she drops them just inside the zone. So an even 2-2 count with 1 out against Chupek. As the umpire makes the signal, makes the call, a strikeout for Owens. After struggling against her first 2 batters faced, Owens finds her rhythm on that third. In the order, Chupek, and strikes her out. Now Ryan at bat. Swing and a miss as she was chasing that one down low. 2 outs following that strikeout by Owens. Falls below the zone, nearly into the dirt, but Leone scoops it up. 2-1 count here against Ryan. Just about halfway through the orders, that one nearly flies out. It gets stopped by the fence. Here at Field 3 of Gillette Road Sporting Complex. So after that foul back, an even 2-2 count with 2 outs. Just drops below the zone. As they look to get her out at second, she's safe. So successful steal there by Kasuf. After Henty tried the same thing earlier, but was thrown out by Leone. But now a fully juiced count with 2 outs. Owens just perfectly places that into the zone as she gets Ryan to chase. A swing and a miss. And the third and final out of this first inning for the North Stars. Now the bottom of the first coming up as the North Stars will be at the top of the order. Kirsten McGraw up to bat. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We welcome you back here to the Northstar Network. Bottom of the first, top of the order for the North Stars. As a scoreless inning for the Legends. They come up dry. Unlike the weather they're experiencing up north, and we experienced about an hour ago. That wasn't bad, just some light sprinkles, and it went away, and it's going to miss us north again. But Northstar is looking to get as much out of this inning as they can, get on top early. Because, obviously they don't want another scare like last week where it came down to the final inning. Tied 1-1 now. It would have went to extra innings if that were the case, but a 2-0 count nonetheless against McGraw at the top of the order. That one falls just high of the zone. 3 straight balls to start things off for Alexis Goodfellow. As McGraw's going to walk. Now, the funniest thing, I believe, let me check my stats here, but Kirsten McGraw got 6 walks this season, make it 7, so that's the most on the team. I don't know if it's just her presence on the plate that makes players want to walk, as Kippen shows a bunt. But she retracts at the last second. The right fielder McGraw at first. Kippen looking to progress McGraw, even if it means getting herself out. But that would get McGraw in scoring position early. No outs, a 2-0 count here against Kippen. Goodfellow yet to throw a strike here today. As she finally does, bringing this to a 2-1 count against Kippen. Kippen with about a .230 average on the season. Though it's still early on, as that's a nice bunt. She might reach first safely. Kippen does get out. Good hustle, though. But a solid bunt from Kippen nonetheless. It progresses McGraw. So McGraw at second here with the shortstop Rockwell up to bat. Rockwell just been tearing it on offense this year. She's been great on defense as well, obviously making that huge play at second to get the first out at the top of the first for the North Stars. So Rockwell fires that one back behind home plate. It's a 1-1 count with 1 out after Kippen with the bunt and the fielder's choice to get her out at first. The bouncing ball passed home as McGraw looks to steal third as she's safe. That little wild pitch, bouncing ball in front of the plate, just skipped past. Enough time for McGraw to steal third. So McGraw now in scoring position. Well, she was before, but now even in better scoring position as Rockwell chops that one to third. As we got a cat chase. McGraw going back and forth. As McGraw is eventually tagged. So Rockwell does reach first safely. Actually, excuse me. Actually, in the process, Sydney Rockwell technically got a triple. Alrighty. So Rockwell sits at third. So the North Stars with 2 outs. Still with Mia Ferrone at bat now. They do have a chance to score here still. As a swing and a miss by Ferrone to start off this at bat with an 0-1 count. Yeah, I guess they would technically call that a triple. As through all that commotion, Rockwell got to third. That one just slides into the bottom of the zone. So now Goodfellow finding her rhythm. After a tough go at the first couple at-bats versus McGraw and Kippen. That one, a high fly ball. It looks like Rockwell's going to steal home. She does. Sydney Rockwell puts the North Stars on top first here in the bottom of the first. Stealing home plate off of that wild pitch. Now, they might consider that a wild pitch, but she was running home like she was trying to steal. Nonetheless, Rockwell completes her rotation around the bases. An even 2-2 count with 2 outs here against Ferrone. That one just clips the right side of the zone as it's called strike 3. And the final out of this first inning has been accounted for. So the top of the second coming up in just a moment. The North Stars on top 1-0. Legends at bat. So now the Legends have the ball. I'm very confused. The scoreboard still says 0-0. They might be having some issues with the scoreboard, not quite sure. That one hit to center field as Mia Ferrone floats right and makes the play. So Anastala quickly retired, and now 7th in the batting order for the Legends. Excuse me, this is Anastala. The last one being Alexis Goodfellow, who was retired quickly. Now it's Stala up to bat, as they do finally fix the scoreboard. That one just rolls past the foul line. So an 0-1 count against Stala with 1 out. Owens, a strikeout in the first. Pop out to center field for Goodfellow. And now with 1 out, a swing and a miss by Stala, 0-2 count. Yeah, as I was saying before we ended that first inning, Sydney Rockwell's been doing it all on this team. .615 batting average, 1.231 slug percentage as that one's grounded to third. As another quick out for the North Stars as Hibbard makes the play. Well, excuse me, I should say Shelby Kippen makes the play, as she connects with Hibbard to get the out. So 2 up, 2 down for Owens. After unable, she was eventually able to find her groove there in the bottom of the first as a swing and a miss against Nestor. But yeah, Rockwell with a 1.231 slug percentage, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, and a stolen base. So that one fouled back behind home plate. That's with 2 outs, an 0-2 count against Nestor, keeping this at-bat alive. 1-0 ball game as that one just drops inside the zone. A beauty from Owens gets Nestor to look, as a backwards K to end. That's top of the second for the North Stars. So 2 strikeouts through the first 2 innings for Mila Owens, and Rockwell stealing home to put the North Stars on top 1-0. We'll be back as they look to put a pad on their lead. We welcome you back as for the North Stars, it's the pitcher, Mila Owens. North Stars getting through 4 batters in the bottom of the first. As Owens rockets that one to right field. I can't see past the dugout. So I believe, yep, it's a pop out to right for Owens. F9 action. As here comes Bree Jaquin at bat. Hasn't registered a hit this season, but she's had a few walks in her plate appearances. Starts off this at bat with an 0-1 count. That one actually stays in and just dropped by Goodfellow. So Jaquin gonna stay at the plate. She does a little bat flip there. First time for everything is an 0-2 count. Jaquin trying to keep this at-bat alive. A swing and a miss. Got her to chase. A little bit of a low sweeper. As the forwards K. Now batting for the Northstar against Jaquin. So 2 up, 2 down for Goodfellow. And it's Hibbard here to bat. Ground ball bouncer just past home plate. So 1-0 count. Start this at bat for Hibbard. That one a bit inside. Hibbard had to avoid. So 2 balls to start this at bat with 2 outs against Hibbard. That one high of the zone. 3 balls as just 1 away from the second walk of the day for the North Stars. McGraw walking in the first, as Hibbard looks to walk here in the second. That one just clips the top of the zone. Falls in nicely. As Goodfellow breaks the trend of balls with 3 in a row, ending it with a strike. That one fouled back behind home plate and a fully juiced count with 2 outs here against Hibbard. So North Stars look to put on some insurance runs after a solid first inning, as that one dropped by the right fielder. So we'll see if they count that as an error, but it's going to be a single for Hibbard nonetheless in her first at-bat of the game. As now it is Riley Kulikowski who comes to bat. She's got 1 RBI in the season, and that RBI, I believe, was off the walk that she registered in her stat sheet, I should say. Yeah, 1 walk on the season, 1 RBI on the season. So Kulikowski, the designated hitter, not getting much play time so far this season. But here she's getting some quality time against the division rival Liverpool Legends. As a 1-1 count. Even things up with 2 outs. And Hibbard on first. Kulikowski chops that one to third. Looks like it should be an easy out. There's a little bit of a 5-3 action as they retire the final batter of that inning, as top of the third coming up when we come back. Top of the third now. So we're nearing the bottom of the order for the Legends. Neither team been able to get through a full rotation, as it's Aubriana Zimmer, the first baseman, up to bat. Good start for this at-bat for Mila Owens. She opens things up with 2 strikes. Make it a third. 3 straight strikes. Got her looking, as Owens records her 3rd strikeout of this game. Owens been getting into a groove now after a little bit of a rough start to start the game out in that first inning. But a quick out, 1 up, 1 down for Owens. As nearing the bottom of the order now for the Legends, it's Alexis Mathers. Playing second base. Katie Springall will round things out for the Legends. That's good framing there by Leon. Might have clipped the zone as it passed by home plate. Can't tell from this perspective. It looked like it dropped just below the zone, at least from where Leon caught it. But good framing there by her. So that one tipped back, and a little souvenir. No. Fortunately, can't keep balls. We're running on a high school athletic budget. Can't be giving away balls left and right. So there is our producer Alex Schneibel is pointing out there is a softball stuck above home plate. Is this one foul back to the other side? Oh, look at that. So she hit both dugouts in the same at-bat. As this at-bat stays alive for Mathers. And a 1-2 count with 1 out. As the Legends look to get on the board and tie things up. North Stars, again, striking first in that first inning. However, haven't been able to get much going since. Well, they've only played 1 other inning since then, as they were looking to get some insurance, as they're just 1 out away from getting another chance at that insurance. Now it's going to be Olivia Henty. So, excuse me, we are now back at the top of the order as Katie Springall is playing flex. She'll be there for pinch hitting, pinch running, whatever is needed. Because both teams have their pitchers in the rotation, that's leading to 1 defensive player being out of the rotation. And that's actually not the catcher for, it's a left fielder, Katie Springall, for the Legends, and that ends up being Marissa Leon for the North Stars. As a beauty from Leon, or excuse me, not Leon, Owens has 3 straight strikeouts in that inning. Owens on fire all the way back for the bottom of the third as the North Stars look to put some insurance on the board. Now bottom of the order for the North Stars in the bottom of the third. As it's Paige Jorgensen, the second baseman, up to bat for the North Stars. Her first at bat she's seen today. As that one cracked, but it's going to be picked up by shortstop. It's a quick out, a 6-3 action. Jorgensen had some nice speed off of the bat. Just great job by the shortstop, Ashley Nestor, as she came right through the ball, delivered the on-time throw to first, and got Paige Jorgensen out for the first out of this third inning for the North Stars. As now back to the top of the order, it's Kirsten McGraw who walked in the first. She nearly came home, but got unlucky. She was playing the old game of tag between third and home, and she ended up getting tagged out. So that one is going to go into the stands of the JV game as the North Stars currently sit on top 2-0 in the fourth. As an 0-2 count after 2 foul tips by McGraw. As that one just below the zone. Henty tried to frame that one into the corner, as that one looked like it might have been just a little bit low, but good framing nonetheless by Henty, as a backwards K against McGraw for the second out. 2 up, 2 down here for Goodfellow, as now Kippen, who grounded out the pitcher in the first inning on a full count. Or actually nearly a full count. It's 3-1 at the time of the ground out. But Kippen now sits with a 1-1 count. That one just hits neatly high of the zone. So 2-1 count now against Kippen. North Stars on top 1-0 in the bottom of the third. This game's going by fast as 3 up, 3 down for the, 4 up. Just a single by Hibbard in the second inning. That one went by pretty quick, and 3 up, 3 down for Owens last inning, as Kippen going to reach first safely on balls. Now batting for the North Stars, Sydney Rockwell. So Rockwell, after a triple and a run in the first, she goes at bat. That one just driven and fouled. Yeah, last time again, Rockwell at bat, she had that triple because of that back and forth action between McGraw and the Legends trying to get her out. There's a 1-1 count now against Rockwell. Rockwell again averaging around 6-15. She's 1 for 1 here today. After that foul back, make it a 1-2 count. And then Rockwell, of course, during Mia Ferrone's at bat, stole home. As Rockwell keeping this at bat alive. So the count remains 1-2 with 2 outs after ground out to shortstop by Jorgensen and a backwards K against McGraw as that one fouled back behind us and goes into that, I think that's a bullpen of some sort. Either way, it's some weird box out in right field of the other softball field. Somebody's going to have to scale the wall, or there's a door. Excuse me. So that one is going to reach safely into center field. A nice hit from Rockwell. Thought about going to second, but nonetheless, Kippen, after walking, is going to reach third safely, and runners on the corners for the North Stars. Great at bat for Rockwell. She kept it alive after a couple foul tips, and then, man, Sydney Rockwell 2 for 2 now today. Continues to just improve that average even more. It's just a beautiful little skipper past second to reach center field safely as she reaches second safely. Another stolen base here today for Sydney Rockwell. And with 2 outs, Mia Ferrone with a 1-0 count looks to drive somebody home. That one chopped to third. Looks like it's going to be an out at first as an easy 6-3 play for the Legends. So they minimize the damage after the North Stars were in scoring position late, but just a little bit too little too late with 2 outs. Not much they could do there. So we'll be back for the top of the 4th where the North Stars are back on defense. Legends are back on offense as they look to get the bats hot and tie things up. North Stars on top 1-0. So welcome you back here as that one is going to be grounded to Mila Owens. Bunt attempt there for Kasuf. And Kasuf faces 1 pitch and already 1 up, 1 down here for Owens. Chupek is going to line that one to center field. Ferrone on the track, but she can't come down with it. So that looks like that's going to be a double for Chupek. So Chupek now in scoring position. As with 1 out, Legends looking to tie things up or even take the lead. So now it's Ryan up to bat. As she looks to drive Chupek home and tie things up in the bottom of the 4th, yes. But Owens, after Yeah, as we already discussed, as we get a little bit of a discussion here between the North Star's third base coach and the umpire, is a 1-0 count here against Erica Ryan. We welcome you back. Sorry for the momentary break, but Katie Springall, who's the flex for the Legends, pinch runs in place of Chupek, and Ryan hammers that one to right field, and a double for her. Not Chupek, excuse me. Springall is at third safely, so with only one out, runners in scoring position for the Legends. That one sits just below the zone as it's Goodfellow, the pitcher, up to bat now for the Legends. Again, the Legends trail. North Stars lead 1-0. So that one is just going to chop to third, so it's going to be a fielder's choice as Springall is safe at home. So this thing is tied up. So Goodfellow does get out at first, but the fielder's choice is enough to bring Springall home. Now Ryan sits at third in scoring position. 2 outs with Stala at bat. Swing and a miss. 0-1 count as Owens tries to get out of this pinch. Legends now lead after driving in 2. Good 4th inning for the Legends as their bats have awakened. The weather begins to cool with the wind, but the bats are just getting hot for the Legends. As Stala shows a bunt. Goodfellow thought about it. Excuse me, not Goodfellow, that's Ryan. Erica Ryan thought about it at third, but didn't have enough time. So a 2-1 count with 2 outs here against Stala. As she looks to add an insurance run for the Legends and bring Erica Ryan home. If you're joining us here, thank you again for sticking with us. As full balls, 3-1 count here against Ryan. Ryan's at third. That's against Stala. There's now Nestor up to bat as runners on the corners for the Legends. As don't know the confusion there, but it looks like Ryan's going to be tagged out by Leone. Don't know what the Legends were thinking. There was a walk there, and then I guess they decided to try to go home, and unsuccessful. So Leone gets Ryan out, trying to steal home, but the Legends have awakened, if you will, when it comes to their bats, when it comes to their offense, and they have gained the lead up 2-1 here in the top of the 5th. We welcome you back here. The game here is actually 1-1, as we're all the way up into the 50s, so I guess the Legends are just crushing the North Stars Don't know what's happening. I thought there was a random run that was added in there, and I was a little confused. So it is still tied 1-1, but the Legends still have tied the game nonetheless. Actually, it looks like they're just driving in runs left and right. It's 86-1 now for the Legends. All good and fun here at Gillette Road Sporting Complex, as it looks like it's not letting them delete any runs. They had to go all the way up to 99. As an update on the JV game, if you're joining us here but not able to watch the JV game, it's 3-1. As a fly out to right field for Owens. Yeah, 3-1 in favor of the Bees. So pop out. Actually, same exact position. No joke, the top of the first ended with Mia Ferron, and then the top of the second started with Mila Owens at bat, and she popped out to right field for the first out, and then Mia Ferron ended things in the top of the third, and now, bottom of the third. Now bottom of the fourth, as Mila Owens does the same. Now Jaquin with a 1-2 count. Struck out in the second. So Northstar's bats have started to cool down a little bit with the weather. But Legends are just heating up. An even 2-2 count with 1 out against Jaquin. 1-1. A little bit of a similar story as that one just clips the bottom of the zone. It's a backwards K against Jaquin. 2 up, 2 down for Goodfellow. As it's Hibbard, who had a single off of an error. I don't know if they would count that as an error or not. It was a miss there by the right fielder. As a swing and a miss for Hibbard. She starts off things with an 0-2 count. Again, 2 up, 2 down for Goodfellow, trying to retire all 3 batters she faces in this 4th inning. As a swing and a miss, gets Hibbard a chase. As 2 straight strikeouts for Goodfellow, 3 up, 3 down, as that ends the 4th. Top of the 5th coming up. When we come back, the Legends looking to carry over the momentum from the 4th and get on top. 1-1 ball game. We'll be back. Hey, Northstars Nation, thank you so much again for joining us. That one quickly popped out. Mila Owens stays on the mound for the Northstars. And the top of the 5th, a quick out. Brianna Zimmer now up to bat as we're nearing the bottom of the order for the Legends. Again, thank you for joining us here on this. I guess the word to describe it is bipolar weather here today. It was raining and cloudy just a few, and very muggy about an hour ago, and now it's started to clear up. The sun is beginning to shine, and the rain has gone away, and it's starting to get a little bit chillier. Not as humid anymore. But yeah, that perfectly describes the weather here in central New York as bipolar, as we're going to get snow this week, I believe on Friday. As Zimmer keeps this at-bat alive. Fouled back, a 1-2 count against her with one out after a quick fly out to right field for Nestor. As we have ourselves a tied ball game. Now the North Stars tied it up against Chittenango in the bottom of the sixes. A beauty from Owens. Gets Zimmer to chase. A swing and a miss. And 2 up, 2 down for Owens. On deck, the top of the order is Henty. Right now it's Matthews at bat. Mathers shows bunt. Tip back. 1-1 count against Mathers. 2 outs. It's for the JV softball game. It's 5-0 now. As that one just sneaks past Kippen at third. I had our PA announcer, Mark Vanette's head right in my line sight, so I couldn't tell if she grabbed it out of the air or not, but it just skips past Kippen to the left fielder, Jaquin. But Mathers reaches first safely as that one driven to left field over Jaquin's head. Mathers rounds third. They call her home. And she doesn't even have to slide. She just steps over first. Steps over home as Mathers brings in a run for the Legends. Now the score is 2-1. Legends sit on top. 2 outs and a runner on second. It's Henty with the RBI double to give the Legends the lead. Now it's Lily Kasuf. You know, the North Stars, they have a record of 2-2, and the Legends have a record of 0-1. But, so you're like, wow, the North Stars have played a lot more games. That is true, but 3 of those games coming in Myrtle Beach. So both teams have only played 1 game here in the central New York area and in Section 3. Obviously, 1 being a win for the Legends, 1 being a loss for the North Stars. But technically, the Legends in recent history have a better record against the North Stars. The North Stars, they got a 3-2 record, but it's fairly even as Owens gets it just in time as they call out Kasuf at first. So third and final out as Owens is going to minimize the damage in that 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th coming up for the North Stars as they're going to be up at bat. Looks like it's going to be Riley Kulikowski to the plate now for the North Stars. Down 2-1. We'll be back. We welcome you back. Bottom of the 5th. Riley Kulikowski up to bat. Last inning, Goodfellow 3 up, 3 down against the North Stars. She got Jaquin looking for her first strikeout of that inning, and then got Hibbard swinging for the 3rd and final out and her 2nd strikeout of the inning for Goodfellow. Now it's Kulikowski who grounded out to third in her first at-bat. Now her second at-bat of the game comes in the bottom of the fifth, a swing and a miss. A 2-0-2 count, excuse me. As the North Stars nearing the bottom of the order. It's Jorgensen. Who is on deck, and McGraw in the hole for the North Stars. They trail right now over the Legends after an RBI double, as starting things out with a backwards K for Goodfellow. So Paige Jorgensen, she grounded out to shortstop last time to the plate. And the North Stars trailing 2-1. They still got a couple more innings after this one, but they need some magic here late. You may see a similar story, a tie-up maybe in the bottom of the sixth, and maybe a walk-off in the seventh. That one flies just out of play. Down the right field line. There's a 0-2 count here against Jorgensen. One out after Kulikowski was caught looking. It's Jorgensen trying to reach first safely after a ground out to shortstop last time at bat. Takes that grounder in front of home for a 1-2 count. As things even up after that one falls above the zone. A 2-2 count now against Jorgensen. Thank you for joining us here on this windy day. Luckily the weather is holding out for us, as the rain was, as that one hit into center field. Sorry for the delay of the call, but Jorgensen, after grounding out to shortstop last time at bat, reaches first safely. Off a little bouncer. Kirsten McGraw, she had a walk in the first, a backwards K in the third, and now in the fifth. Looks to progress Jorgensen at least a couple bases. Maybe she can get a bunt and move Jorgensen ahead into scoring position. As Jorgensen decides to go to second, as she's going to be called safe. She got her foot just underneath Ashley Nestor. As a successful stolen base from Jorgensen. She's now in scoring position. A little bit of a tough spot now for Goodfellow. It's that one chopped down the right field line. Out of play. A lot of speed off the bat for McGraw. She's swinging for the fences. Speaking of fences, 2 home runs this year for the North Stars, both coming down south, and both coming from, as a beauty to center field. McGraw, it looks like she's going to bring Jorgensen home as she's rounding third. She heads home, and things are tied up. McGraw reaches second safely. A beauty of a hit from McGraw into center field as it drops into the gap. As Kippen with 1 out and a tied ball game. We have ourselves a game, folks. So McGraw with her first hit of the season, coming in a crucial moment down against your division rivals. Kippen shows a bunt, takes the ball instead. Yeah, both, sorry, before I was cut off there by great play by McGraw to bring Jorgensen home, but Sydney Rockwell is the one who is, she's actually right now I was going to say in the hole. She's up next. She's on deck. It's Rockwell, who again had that one just trickles foul past that first base line. As a even 2-2 count with one out, against Kippen. Yeah, those only 2 home runs this season for the North Stars, both not only coming down south but coming from Sidney Rockwell, who's 2 for 2 today. So that one just drops below the zone. McGraw thought about stealing third, but Shelby Kippen going to take the fully juiced count instead. Full 3-2 count with 1 out for Kippen. Kippen a ground out to the pitcher in the first and a walk in the third. Well, make it another walk here in the fifth. So it looks like we're going to get a mound meeting here after Goodfellow allowing Jorgensen to be batted in. It's an RBI double from McGraw to tie things up. Not only her first hit of the year, but it's her first RBI of the year. So it looks like we may be seeing a pitcher change for the Legends, trying to get out of this pinch. So we'll be back in just a moment as the Legends looking to change pitchers here. So they'll more than likely need a warm-up if they do, as the mound meeting comes to a close. Looks like Goodfellow going to stay on the mound for the Legends. So Kippen going to head back to first. And McGraw going to stay at second. Now it's Rockwell, who's 2 for 2 today. She had a triple in the first, and she had that, not RBI, but that run in the first after stealing home, and then she had a single in the third. So 1-0 count to start this at-bat for Rockwell. This Goodfellow looks to get out of the bind. That one just drops inside the zone, evens up the count to 1-1. One falls just above the zone. 2-1 count. Again, only 1 out, and runners on first and second for the North Stars. Shelby Kippen sits at first, and Kirsten McGraw sits safely at second. That one tipped back and nearly goes into the dugout for the Legends. So that evens up the count to 2-2 against Rockwell, who's 2 for 2 today. That one, ooh, a lot of speed on that. Go the other direction. Not quite out of there, but could have been close. Rockwell definitely looking for her third of the season. As a swing and a miss for Rockwell. As Goodfellow still looking to get out of this pinch. Runner on first and second. 2 outs as here's Mia Ferrone. She struck out in the first, and she grounded out to shortstop in the third. Looking to give the North Stars a lead as that one is popped out to right field. As, yeah, I had to wait a second. Wasn't quite sure if she caught it. Couldn't see it from my line of sight, but Goodfellow pumped her fist. Obviously excited about that play. So the North Stars do tie things back up, but Goodfellow gets out of the bind, striking out Sidney Rockwell, and Mia Ferrone pops out to right field for the final out. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't forget to subscribe for all the North Stars sporting content. Of course, we got softball, baseball, both boys and girls lacrosse and flag football here in the spring season. And then, unfortunately, this is my senior year, so I'll be leading you at the end of the spring. Maybe we'll see if some of my fans know. I'm just messing with you. I know my parents will obviously follow my journey towards Penn State, but maybe in a few years, look me up. I'll be on ESPN. That's the hope. It's going to take a little bit to get there. There's going to be a grind, but you're in good hands for next year. Killian Heffron taking over. Jordan Petrowski will kind of back him up, as well as Joe Canella. Joe Canella is also part of 4D, so he tends to be a little bit busy, especially here in the spring season with talent shows coming about. So even though you're going to be losing me, you're in good hands for next year. But like I said, subscribe and don't miss any North Star's sporting content, as we'll have a lot of great content in the fall. Of course, football, as that one is going to head into the JV field. A 7-0 game. North Star's on top for the JV game. So last inning. Again, Goodfellow getting out of a bind. And now the North Stars look to stay strong on defense, as they little rough go around last time, as an 0-2 count to start things off for Owens, but she follows it up with a ball. 1-2 count now. Against Chupek, as Chupek sends another one into the JV field. That's her second of this at-bat. But Chupek keeping this plate appearance alive. It's a swing and a miss. Mila Owens gets Chupek to chase. And 1 up, 1 down for Owens. Yet to see a pitching changeup for the North Stars. We'll see if we get a closer out here, if they can take the lead in the bottom of the 6th. That one nearly clips the right side of the zone, but just curved outside at the last second above home plate. Again, 1 up, 1 down, as here's Ryan. Up to bat, a swing and a miss. A 1-1 count to start things off. Thank you again for joining us here as the sun begins to shine. As that one's cracked to shortstop Rockwell. An easy connection with Hibbert at first for the second out of this inning. So here comes Goodfellow, who got the Legends out of the pinch last inning, as with 2 outs, nobody on base. A tied ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. That one just clips the right corner of the zone. Excuse me, top of the 6th. So an 0-2 count as that one clips the bottom of the zone. As got her to chase. A nice little slider there outside. And Mila Owens 3 up, 3 down for that inning. A quick one. Bottom of the 6th coming up. The North Stars back at bat. It's Mila Owens with that final strikeout, and she's going to have the first plate appearance of the inning for the North Stars. We'll be back. Mila Owens now up to bat. That one just tracks above the zone. So 1-0 count. She has led off every single time she's been at bat. She has led off that inning. Well, it's just a trend, I guess. As the JV game just about to hit halftime, 6-4, as Beeville sits on top. That one fired back over our heads. A 2-1 count for Mila Owens. Both times she was at bat this game, she has popped out to right field. We'll see if the trend continues or if she can reach base safely. That one is cracked to right field. This time, she's able to knock one through as Owens, with her first hit of the game, 1 for 3. She gets a single.
Now batting for the Northstar.
So Jaquin striking out both times she's been at bat. Strikeout swinging in the second and a strikeout looking in the fourth. Here in the bottom of the sixth, and the Northstars sit tied with the Legends 2-2. Stella Clary pinch running for the Northstars. As that one, oh, a beautiful spinner from Jaquin. As Stella Clary, she stepped off the base for a second. They say she's safe. She got back, I believe, in time. But what a beautiful spinner from Jaquin. She must have, as she hit the ball, must have put just a little bit of spin on it, as when it dropped down, it didn't bounce. It just kind of stayed in place. That's the best bunt you can get. Perfectly executed, nobody out, as Jaquin reaches first safely. 2 runners on for the Northstars. As Aaron Abernathy gonna pinch hit here for Erica Hibbard. As a roller past the first base foul line. That one fouled back. Back-to-back fouls, an 0-2 count for Abernathy. A swing and a miss as Abernathy strikes out. Still only 1 out here, though. And runners on first and second, as here comes Riley Kulikowski. She rounded out to third in the second inning, and in the fifth, she struck out swinging, as that one is called foul. 0-1 count to start this at-bat for Kulikowski. 1 out after Abernathy strikes out swinging. But still, Northstar's in a good position as that one looks like it's going to be a double play. Yeah, as that's going to do it. Forgot we already had 1 out, so a beauty of a double play. They get Jaquin, tagged her on her way to second, and then they got Kulikowski at first. So that does it here for the 6th inning. Now on to the 7th and final, unless we stay tied and we go to extra innings. But the Northstars tied right now 2-2 against the Legends, as Legends now up to bat. We'll be back. Well, we welcome you back here to the Northstar Network. Tied ball game in the top of the 7th as the Legends here up to bat. It's Anastala out of the 6 in the order. So nearing the bottom of the lineup. So Stala. Legends. Some equipment changes there from third base coach, I believe. But Mila Owens still out on the mound for the North Stars. Neither starting pitcher has yet to leave the mound. But a tied ball game. As it could come down to this. If the Legends can bring a run in, they'll just need to hold off for the bottom of the 7th. Maybe bring out a closer if they have one, or stick to Goodfellow, who has got him out of some pinches. As a swing and a miss, a 1-2 count for Stala. Thought about bunting. That one fouled back as Stala keeps this plate appearance alive. But this could go to extra innings, and we'll stick with you for those extra innings. And don't forget to tune in at 7 for the boys lacrosse game. That one just falls outside of the zone. An even 2-2 count against Stala. No outs. So we're just at the top of the order for this inning for the Legends, as Stala keeps this plate appearance alive. She's really looking for that base hit to get her team a runner on and set them up for a potentially game-leading run. Stala shows bunt, goes back, chops that one. It's going to be fair, and she's safe at first. It's dropped by Hibbard, as Leone can't get it to Hibbard quite in time, and Hibbard might have been able to scoop it up, but it was a low runner. Couldn't see from this angle that well either, but either way, that one just falling in front of home plate. It's called fair. And Stala reaches first safely. She does progress to second, but Nestor with the sacrifice bunt to progress Stala into scoring position. So now just nearing the bottom of the order for the Legends, it's Aubriana Zimmer. You know, I always thought I wouldn't get used to calling them the Legends, but it's been a lot easier than I thought. Now it just becomes second nature, as nearly Zimmer was a little shook. I don't know if she almost hit somebody. Either way, had a lot of speed off the bat. Somebody was in the path. It wouldn't have been pretty, especially with these softballs. They're hefty. They're meatballs, if you will. If my mother's watching this, she would know. My old aunt, she would make meatballs the size of softballs. And, you know, as they always say, you know, send them a slider, a good old meatball, let it hang in the zone. You don't want to do that, obviously, but that's how the saying goes. These are quite literally meatball size in my family. As a 1-2 count just grazes the bottom of the zone. One out after the sacrifice bunt. But here it's Zimmer looking to drive a run in. That one just chopped as Kippen snags that one out of the air. So 2 outs now after a pop out to third. And just hitting the bottom of the order. If Mathers can reach base safely, then we can get back to the top of the order. Henty had an RBI earlier. So that one just falls below the zone. So I think we have a pinch runner out there for Legends. It looked like it was a different number, but I'm not 100% sure. Is that one? No movement there from the batter. So 1-1 count if that one just drops inside the zone. That one chopped to left field. Is it going to fall? It does. It gets into the gap between Jaquin and Mia Ferrone, as that's going to be an RBI double for Mathers. And she drives Zimmer home.
Now batting for Liverpool, Olivia Henson.
It's popped and driven into left field, as it looks like we may get a pitching change up here. A mound meeting for the North Stars as Coach Nandon heads to the bump to talk to Mila Owens. So as we do see Kiki Bembry jogging out. So we'll take a break here on the North Star Network, give Bembry some time to warm up, as it looks like she's going to take the mound and look to get the North Stars out of the pinch in the top of the 7th. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. So now on the mound for the North Stars, Kiki Bembry looking to get the North Stars out of a pinch after the Legends drove one through. It was Mathers with the RBI double into left center field. That brought Zimmer home, and now she sits safely at second. That one chopped to right field as they're going to wave her home. She slides safely. Mathers, after the RBI after the RBI double, I combined single and double for some reason. After the RBI double by Mathers, she brings a run home after sliding safely at first. So now it's Kasuf with the bouncing bunt as she gets out at first, so minimizing the damage. Now that's not going to count towards an earned run for Kiki Bembry, as Mathers was on base due to Mila Owens, so she'll get that earned run as well. But Kiki Bembry does get the North Stars out of the slight pinch. One run does get knocked in for the Legends, but they do have a somewhat comfortable lead heading into the bottom of the 7th, 4-2. Legends on top, as they're just 3 outs away from taking their first victory of the season. We'll be back. We welcome you back as the third quarter just starting over at the JV game. It's 6-4 in favor of the Bees, as this one is 4-2 in favor of the Legends. So both visiting teams on top right now for these two double stream games. As the bottom of the 7th now, the North Stars need at least 2 to tie things up and send it into an 8th inning. It's Paige Jorgensen. She got a single last time at bat. Now she sits with a 1-1 count. It's that one chopped to third. And that's going to be an easy ground out, 5-3 against Jorgensen. 1 up, 1 down.
Now batting for the Northstar, Kirsten McGraw.
For Goodfellow. So Goodfellow staying in this game, looking to pitch a full 7 innings. So now it's Kirsten McGraw who had an RBI double in the 5th to tie up the game for the North Stars. Now, can't happen in this case. There's nobody on base, but she could get a homer and make this a 1-score game. She does knock that one into right field, so she does get a single. So, a double and a single in her last 2 plate appearances. So she does reach first safely.
Now batting for the Northstar,
As now it's Shelby Kippen up to bat, looking to drive McGraw in. So North Stars trail the Legends 4-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Legends just down to their last 2 outs before they walk away with their first win of the season, where the North Stars will fall to 2-3, drop below 500 on the season, but still a lot of season left to play. So that one is going to be called foul as it just rolls back behind the first base line. So an even 1-1 count against Kippen. She grounded out to the pitcher in the first, and then she had walks in her last 2 plate appearances. As that one looks like it's going to be a repeat of that first inning. So ground out to the pitcher.
now batting for the Northstar, Sydney Rockwell.
Fielder's choice, as McGraw does reach second and is in scoring position. As this is the person you want at bat when you're down 2. You got a runner on base. I was just actually about to turn to my non-existent color commentator for their reaction to what I was just saying, but I turned to our producer instead, Alex Schneibel, as it doesn't feel unnatural, except it feels like I'm talking to myself, which I am, essentially. I'm talking to you folks at home. Oh, as it looks like Rockwell was hit by the pitch. So Rockwell reaches first safely, and McGraw sits at second. So now it's Mia Ferrone. She flew out to right field in her last at-bat. She grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning, and then she struck out in the 1st. As we may get a pitching change up here for the Legends as they have a mound meeting. And that was definitely the person they wanted to be at bat in Rockwell. As it's 9-0 in the 6th inning, top of the 6th for the North Stars over there for JV. So one North Star team on top right now, as it's still 6-4 with 6:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter over at the JV game. Again, at 7 o'clock, I'll be over there with Jordan Petrowski, Alex Schneibel, and I believe Owen Lynch is going to be our camera operator for that one. So undefeated North Stars taking on the Baldwinsville Bees at 7. You won't want to miss that one. Should be a thriller. This North Star's been on a tear again, starting off the season 5-0. Down to the final out, as it's still a swing and a miss, a 1-1 count here against Ferrone. Rockwell at first. McGraw safely at second in scoring position. As that one swept in, it is a base hit into left field. As McGraw going to reach home plate safely with 2 outs. The North Stars just trail by 1. Mia Ferrone, what a time to have her first hit of the game. Coming in a timely manner. An RBI base hit. McGraw comes home. Rockwell reaches second, and Ferrone with the single. Now it's Mila Owens. She had a single in the 6th, but she popped out every other time. That one just high of the zone. A 1-out count, 2 outs. The North Stars trail. So the deficit is narrowed after that RBI knock by Mia Ferrone. That one just falls outside. Actually, he's gonna say just clip the right of the zone, so it's a 1-1 count here against Mila Owens. Down to the last out. That one fouled back. Make it a 1-2 count for Owens. Feeling the pressure. That one just drops below the zone, and as it looks like Sydney Rockwell going to steal third. So Rockwell in prime scoring position. 1 out left in the bottom of the 7th. As a run by Rockwell would tie up the game for the North Stars. So that one's going to be chopped to first, and that does it. So the Legends get out of the bind, and they get their first win of the season. A heartbreaker for the North Stars, but they did put together a final effort towards the end. Just couldn't come through in the final home stretch. So the Legends, back and forth game here. Didn't get hot until late for both teams, but they get hot late and take the lead after it being tied 2-2, now 4-2. Make sure again to subscribe to the Northstar Network for all CNS athletics, or as much as we can do. We're going to try to see if we can start getting some other sports this spring season incorporated, not necessarily live, as it wouldn't be possible, but some pre-recorded highlights of potentially baseball, or excuse me, not baseball. We'll be live for those ones. As a matter of fact, we'll be live next Monday at MBT Bank Stadium, hopefully, as long as we get permission, but we haven't had a problem in the past, and as long as the weather looks good right now, just windy for that game. As knocking on wood there, just a little superstition there. As you know, Alex Schneibel said that my comment about the meatball was a jinx. Whatever the case may be, the North Stars do unfortunately fall to the Legends, but we're going to try to get some more spring sports involved here. But again, thank you for joining us. As always, a huge thank you to all of our staff at CNS, our athletic director Tim Benarski, our facility manager Joe Howell, our athletic trainer today, it's Brian Buckland, but of course, as always, a huge thank you to Katie Clark as well, our facility manager Joe Howell, our PA announcer Mark Vanette. I'm Joey Cox, joined alongside, well, not joined alongside on the commentary side, but my secondary person here on the crew, our two-man, being Alex Schneibel, our producer, Joey Cox, saying so long from CNS. Thank you for joining us. The North Stars unfortunately fall 4-3 to the Legends. Join us at 7 o'clock at Michael J. Bragman Stadium as the undefeated North Stars will be taking on their rival, the Baldwinsville Bees. Don't go anywhere for that game, as it will be coming up in just about an hour. The JV game is going on, so if you want to tune into that in the meantime, feel free. Again, thank you so much. I'm Joey Cox saying so long from Gillette Road Sporting Complex.